Hey everybody, this is Minion Soldier, and this is Ship Updates. Now, of course, the big news this week was the surprise concept sale finally came out, and that is the Vanduul Blade. Now, it's supposedly going to be up for sale until at least, the 28th, I believe. I am not 100% on that figure because it seems a little bit long, but yeah, I believe that's what they said on Reverse the Verse today. Was it's going to go until the 28th. It is not going to be a limited ship sale. It is going to be an open sale. The ship is reputed to be very fast, very maneuverable. Um, it is currently got one size 2 fixed gun and two size 1 fixed guns. Um, and it costs $250. So I figure, why not just jump right in? $250. Now normally I just kind of use this show and I try to, as much as possible, just try to get the information out there and just kind of give an opinion sometimes, blah, 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 blah. I try not to editorialize, but I believe I was talking about this on the last ship updates, that I think that there really needs to be somebody who kind of watches these ships and just sort of says like no, no, no. Now, if the ship had like one fixed size 3 and two fixed size 2s, I mean, do we start to enter into the realm of possibility? But for a ship that is the price of the Vanguard, for a ship that is the price of the Redeemer, and this is like a light fighter. I mean, on Reverse the Verse today, they were talking about like the hierarchy of Vanduul fighters is the Blade, then the Scythe, then the Glaive, right? So the Blade is at the bottom of that stack, Glaive at the top. This $250 for a very fast ship that has two size 1s and a size 2 in there. Well, the size 1s are gimbaled, sorry. Because I don't, it's kind of like you just kind of want to hit the ground running on this one, but I feel it's probably better to reserve judgment because, of course, stats could change, and things will be rebalanced. But I am highly dubious of this ship. I'm sorry. It's just, that's a lot of money for what appears to be not a whole lot of ship. So, yeah. But speaking of balancing, they did somewhat address the issues with the Scythe and the Glaive, where, a lot of people have been saying that these ships are completely insufficient, that they're lagging behind, and that they're basically they're not doing that well. At least in Arena Commander, they're not performing up to snuff. And Ben and Disco were basically saying, yep, we're very much aware of the issues with both ships, and we will be taking a look at them. But right now, they're more interested in getting more ships in the game, so they can balance, I guess, so they can get a better idea of the dynamic between fighters, and then start to balance off of a more complete picture of the game, which is great, which is fantastic. But going back to the Blade, I think that we can kind of nip these things in the bud by maybe taking a little more time to specifically look at armaments before releasing them, because the weapon loadout on this ship is terrible. But let's just wait and see. That's just, what, that's just my opinion. If this is your thing, if you want to RP Vanduul and you want to buy one of these fighters, more power to you. Go on, enjoy. But I mean, when I saw the weapon loadout on this thing and the price tag, you know, all right, moving on. Caterpillar. Caterpillar, there's going to be new art soon to deal with the Caterpillar. Of course, Gurmuk Basine and Calyx Renault are, of course, working on that ship, working on the interior, working on the modules. And so hopefully that we will see some new art soon. They gave us a hint that that is possible, some to do with the modules. And basically, someone had asked if the Caterpillar was going to be modular. Or no, sorry, if there were going to be variants of the Caterpillar, and they said no, that is probably going to be covered through modularity, much like the Endeavor. So chances are, like, however you want to configure your Caterpillar, that's going to be done by modules and not done by hull, unlike some of the earlier vessels. Connie. We got some news on the Connie variants. So for those of you that own Connie variants, they were talking about what they had on schedule for Q3 and Q4 when they basically said, "Oh yeah, the Connie variants." Well, we were talking about the schedule Q3, Q4. So chances are, hopefully, the Connie variants may start either work or start rolling out in Q3 or Q4. So hopefully, but there is really, there has been no firm indication. That is just very much, something that they're looking for. They're maybe aiming towards, but no firm word yet. Now, another big piece of big news is the Starfarer. Now, I'm just putting a little snippet here. So I know how Twitch gets mad if I, post anything from, Twitch TV. Basically, what has happened with the Starfarer is they have hit the commit deadline, and so it looks like the Starfarer is pretty much in for 2.3, but they're still dancing around the yes, it's in. So it looks really, really strong, but it's still not a 100% commitment that it is going to happen. Now, we did learn that this concept sale this week is part of a new stretch of concept sales, possibly one every month to one every 6 weeks for the next little while. Ships will include, and they said, ships from Drake, ships from RSI, possibly at the tail end of it, it may include the Prowler, as they still got Chris Olivia working on the look for the Tavaran race. So it's not firm that the Prowler is part of that, but I would hazard a guess that it is. So in other words, chances are we're going to be seeing the new Corvette, the small mining ship, the small salvage ship, the Drake Interceptor / Buccaneer, and possibly, I would hazard a guess that the Xeon Volper is going to work its way into it, which is, of course, the Xeon Bomber, which was actually concept completed basically like a year ago. Almost exactly a year ago, that concept was actually completed, and we have yet to see it, as I have a feeling that it plays a role in Squadron 42, which, speaking of concept sales, and just quickly going back to the Blade is obviously something that's going to, feature in Squadron 42. So chances are, if you are going to get a Blade, chances are you're probably going to see it in your hangar sooner rather than later. Now, there was just some other stuff, not exactly the kind of news that is too exciting to share, or it's not really good news, But, we talked a bit last time about the fact that there was an Idris test video floating around within CIG, and the possibility from Ben that they might be able to get it out to us so that we can see it, like the test flight video. But I guess CR Chris Roberts has put the kibosh on that. Uh, but other things from that flight test series are we are going to be seeing soonish. But right now, the Idris, any exposition on the Idris is on hold. Once again, Squadron 42, spoilers, yada yada yada. But once again, Ben said it's possible that we are going to be having more Idris sales, but of course this will be the Idris P and not the Idris M. So keep that in mind. But if you are looking to get an Idris, the possibility remains still that you might be able to grab one if you are just 100% dead set on that ship and just can't let go of the idea. Possible. I wouldn't bet the farm on it, but it's possible. Now, last but not least is a little bit of news about the Crucible. Now, of course, the Crucible is not in production right now, but the repair arm for the Crucible apparently is, because they are prototyping the repair system. So, I mean, it's possible that we might see some stuff on that in the future, because that's more of a, it's not really so much a Squadron 42 element as it is more of just a general day in day out of the universe type stuff. So it's just regular part of life in the Star Citizen universe, and it's not really something that it's like, oh my god, did you see that repair arm? Well, that just totally spoils the plot of Squadron 42. So hopefully soon we'll be able to see some of the prototype work on the repair system. And for us, obviously Crucible owners, that would be some big news. Now, what else was there? Just some small things. Once again, yeah, the 890 jump, sadly for 890 jump owners, it remains pushed back at this point. No word on it being pushed forward. The ship specs page, those are all going to be redone, and apparently they're going to be putting up a chart that shows where every ship is in the hierarchy of production and how far along it is. So for those of you who want more regular updates, hopefully you'll be seeing that soon. I think it would be cooler to just have like the artists who are working on it just have like a little diary thing where they can just kind of like take screenshots and just throw it up and just say, working on skins this week, or working on animation for landing gear this week, blah blah blah, and just putting something like that up, or just once per month. I think that would be like a cool idea, and just so you can kind of slowly see the ships kind of come into life. And it would probably it would alleviate some of the oh my god, I want to see my ship, type stuff that happens. But anyways, some stuff to look forward to, some unfortunate news, and hopefully there's going to be a couple of Blade Q&As next week, and hopefully at some point they're going to redress the armaments on this ship, because right now the way it looks, it just doesn't make sense. But they seem to be fairly resolute and fairly firm on that price. So if people are willing to pay that price, obviously they'll sell it for that price. Anyways, that's it for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. And yes, the Piracy Show will be returning on Monday. Last week, there kind of was an episode that was made, but it's basically going to be like a lost episode that never airs because, well, I'll get into that in the next episode. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.